Imagine the most famous avenue in the world. A place of stars, red carpets, and spotlights. But that night, the lights didn't come from cameras. They came from thousands of headlights roaring like an army of steel. It was the moment when Hollywood's glamour kneeled before the brotherhood of bikers. For years, his name had been synonymous with triumph. He was the face plastered on billboards worldwide, the star of the highest-grossing films, the man who dictated trends and filled magazine covers. In Hollywood, his shadow was so big that even other actors seemed to orbit around him. His smile was a seal of power, and his life a carefully designed spectacle meant to shine before the cameras. But behind that facade of perfection, time and excess began to take their toll. Scandals with paparazzi, endless parties, broken contracts, and betrayed friendships slowly stained his reputation. What had once been adoration turned into criticism, and though he still held great wealth, his figure no longer projected the same unquestionable authority. He had gone from being a god of cinema to a man vulnerable to the judgment of public opinion. Even so, on that premiere night, he carried the same arrogance as always. A flawless suit, flashes all around, fans desperate for an autograph. He believed, as always, that everything revolved around him, that the lights, the red carpet, and the city itself bowed at his feet. What he didn't know was that in the depths of Los Angeles, another universe was preparing to claim the spotlight. A world that doesn't appear in magazines, that needs no scripts or spotlights. A world forged on endless highways, in scars, in the roar of steel. A brotherhood not measured by contracts or fame, but by unbreakable loyalty, by respect earned with gasoline, sweat, and dust. And that night, that actor was about to discover what it meant to be eclipsed by the raw power of the bikers. The night began like so many others on Hollywood Boulevard. The red carpet stretched out, cameras ready to capture every gesture, every calculated smile. Flashes lit up the sky like artificial lightning, while fans screamed the actor's name, hoping for a glance, an autograph, a fleeting moment to touch the myth. Reporters, impatient, waited for a provocative statement, a headline to feed the tabloids. Everything seemed under control until it happened. A distant rumble, deep and metallic, shattered the superficial harmony. At first, some mistook it for thunder or the hum of a helicopter. But no, it was a sound far more primal, more visceral. Murmurs spread across the crowd as the echo grew and grew, and then the ground itself began to tremble. From the freeway, from dark alleys, from forgotten neighborhoods, they came. First 10, then 100, then thousands of motorcycles advancing in unison like an unstoppable tide of steel and fire. Harley-Davidsons, Indians, custom choppers with open exhausts, chrome gleaming under the cinema marquees. The boulevard, accustomed to the glamour of black limousines, was conquered by the deafening roar of the biker brotherhood. The actor, who had always believed the world belonged to him, froze. For the first time in his life, the cheers weren't for him. The screams of his fans were drowned out by the collective thunder of engines. Each pulse of that roar was a reminder that there were forces far greater than the shine of Hollywood, forces that sought no approval or recognition because they already had something more powerful: respect. In just minutes, two realities collided head-on. The polished, superficial spectacle of the cameras against the raw truth of the road. The world of individual ego against the indomitable spirit of a brotherhood. And under that thunder, the actor realized, though he would never admit it, that tonight he was no longer the star. Hollywood Boulevard froze in an unrepeatable instant. The usual traffic, the luxury cars and limousines that once ruled the avenue, vanished beneath a wave of engines that seized the asphalt as if it had always been theirs. No red carpet could compete with that spectacle. No premiere could eclipse the brutal scene unfolding before thousands of astonished eyes. The sidewalks overflowed with tourists, locals, and onlookers. The air grew thick, saturated with the smell of gasoline, rubber, and smoke. Every rev sent vibrations through the chest, as if the city's own heart now beat to the rhythm of those machines. And then the vision became clear. Hollywood wasn't witnessing chaos. It was witnessing a ritual. A sea of headlights shone like mechanical constellations, bathing the boulevard in an almost hypnotic glow. Exhaust pipes thundered in perfect unison, like war drums announcing the arrival of a forgotten empire. Among the crowd, black flags rose, emblazoned with symbols only the initiated understood. Codes of brotherhood etched into fabric and steel. Leather vests, weathered by sun and endless roads, glistened under neon marquees, transforming the world's most glamorous street into territory conquered by the biker tribe. But this was not disorder. An invisible discipline held it all together. Precise formations, steady gazes, engines cutting off and igniting as if following a secret score. It was a military parade on wheels, an army that carried no weapons, only scars, respect, and a force no Hollywood script could ever replicate. Tourists' cameras captured every moment, aware they were witnessing history. From above, news helicopters broadcast the takeover live, showing the world that the heart of cinema had been silenced by the roar of the road. And there, lost in the crowd, the actor who once stole the spotlight discovered his new role, that of a spectator. Because the true performance, the only one that mattered that night, was written in smoke, steel, and loyalty upon the asphalt of Hollywood Boulevard. Subscribe now so you won't miss more epic stories like this. By dawn, the red carpet lights were gone, but the city still pulsed with the echo of the engines. And when the newspapers hit the stands, the famous actor wasn't on the front page. Not his premiere, not his rehearsed speech, not his calculated poses.
The headlines were blunt and unanimous. Hollywood invaded by bikers. The motorcycle brotherhood paralyzes the Mecca of cinema. For some critics, the event was a brutal act of rebellion, a slap in the face to the entertainment industry, a reminder that not everything can be controlled by contracts and spotlights. For others, it was almost a mythical ritual, a parade embodying forgotten values in a society dominated by ego. A spectacle of unity and loyalty in a world fragmented by fame and superficiality. Social media erupted like wildfire. Cell phone videos went viral in hours, racking up millions of views. Users compared it to scenes straight out of apocalyptic movies, a crossover between Mad Max and an urban epic that could never be repeated. Traditional press, trapped between fascination and fear, tried to brand it as an outbreak of chaos or a hostile takeover of the city. But the people didn't see it that way. For popular culture, that night became a legend. The night Hollywood ceased to be untouchable and bowed before the roar of the motorcycles.
Because that roar of engines was not just noise. It was a brutal reminder that power is not always measured in fame or fortune, but in the loyalty of those who ride together through life, fearless and unmasked. Hollywood Boulevard would never be the same, and those who were there know it. That night, the asphalt was sacred. If you want to keep discovering stories where reality surpasses fiction, subscribe now and join this community. The journey has only just begun.